Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to my Inbox 22 video where I show some of the new vinyl I've bought over the past month or so. All but one have been bought online from Discogs or eBay, but one was sent down from my local record shop, Johnny. He was kind enough to say, I'll post this down to you because I had ordered it and he had just shut down the day before it arrived, so he was decent enough to do that. As I say, these are all new vinyl. I do have second hand ones as well, but I'll show those in another video. Okay, starting up, and I'm so pleased to I didn't know this was out in vinyl, and this is Mick Jagger, and this is Wandering Spirit, his 1993 album, and this is by far his best solo album. In fact, I bought this when it came out in CD at the time, and whenever Voodoo Lounge came out in '94, the Stones album, I always thought this was better. I'm not so sure now. I think they're both very, very good albums. But the highlights of this are the single Sweet Thing is a good funky number. Out of Focus is a bit of a gospel-y type number. Don't Tear Me Up is your standard Stones song, but it's very good. But things like Wandering Spirit is an absolutely fantastic song. Yeah, this is over a double album, 14 songs. Sound quality is great, and as I say, this is his best. I do actually quite like the debut album, She's the Boss, even though it's very 80s sounding, but I do quite like that album. I think it's got some highlights. And I can't stand the Primitive Cool album from '88 with Let's Work on It. His album after this, I think it's Goddess in the Doorway, you call it. I bought it in CD and I don't think I've even managed to get through it yet, and I bought it at the time. But this is a great album, and it's produced by Rick Rubin, which I never realised until I bought this vinyl album. So Mick Jagger's Wandering Spirit. These two I have again on CD, and I've shown one of them in a recent video, but I had to pick them up, and this is the Idle Race Birthday Party from 1968. This is an absolutely fantastic album. As I said in the previous video, the Idle Race music is very melodic. It's quite psych, but it's not twee. There is Kinks influences in here, but there's big Beatle influences as well. So this is the Birthday Party, their debut album, and this is the one I showed, and this is Idle Race. This is their second album. I don't know which one's the best. They're both as good as each other. If you're ever wondering what the Idle Race sound like, or the nearest thing to the Idle Race, try this out. I've had this for a while, but this is the Moose debut album. They're very similar. You could put those three albums together, and that's probably why Jeff joined Roy as well. Very similar type and sound. Okay, carrying on, and this album is the third album by this band, and I never liked it. I had the CD, and recently I played the CD and I thought, yeah, this is actually very good. You know, it's better than what I thought it was. And it's the third album by Transvision Vamp, a band I really did like in the late 80s. And this is called Little Magnets versus the Bubble of Babel. It's got a more shuffly, almost baggy sound to it. I think maybe they were influenced by bands like the Happy Mondays and so forth, and even the Stone Roses. This came out in 1991, but yeah, the two singles off this were If Looks Could Kill and I Just Want to Be With You, which I do like and always liked. There's a song on here called Twangy Wig Out, which uses the tune to the Serge Gainsbourg and Jane Birkin song Je T'aime Moi Non Plus. Now, funny enough, Texas did the same thing again for their guitar song, which I think was on their Rick's Road album, or it could be the Mother Earth album. It's one of those two anyway. But yeah, this is a big surprise. I really do enjoy this, and I used to say Transvision Vamp had two great albums and one crap one. Now they've got three pretty decent albums, and this is on blue vinyl as well. The one that Johnny posted out for me from his record shop is Morrissey's I'm Not a Dog on a Chain, and this is on red vinyl, clear red vinyl. Now the thing about Morrissey is I've followed Morrissey since 1983 with the Smiths, This Charming Man, so it's mainly out of loyalty that I've been buying his albums, and the last two have not been great. and I hemmed and hawed about buying this, and I thought I'll give it a chance. I played this, and this is really good. This is his best album since probably the one that Tony Visconti produced, Ringleader of the Tormentors. I really did enjoy this. Funny enough, this went in the charts at number 3 or something, and then jumped down to the next week dip out. Well, it actually fell out the top 100, so it was spent 1 week in the charts. But it is a good album. I Am Not a Dog on a Chain by Morrissey. And most of these are actually replacing CDs or upgrading CDs. And I finally got my second favourite Blur album behind The Great Escape, and that is Modern Life is Rubbish. I just think this is really good. I think the singles are great for Tomorrow, Chemical World and Sunday Sunday, but songs like Coping, Blue Jeans, and there's another one here, Turn It Up, I absolutely love. And this is a fantastic album, their second album, and as I say, my second favourite. And finally, this got a release on vinyl, a triple vinyl set, and this is Abba Live, and yeah, delighted to pick this up. I do have the Abba Live album from 1986, which is portions of this plus the Dick Cavett performances. But this is live at Wembley, 3 full discs, I think it's the full show, and there's even a new song on it called I'm Still Alive, which was the music was actually not written by Benny, it was actually written by Agneta. So it was Agneta and Bjorn. So it has the big hits like Voulez-Vous, Chiquitita, I Have a Dream, Money Money Money, SOS, Fernando, The Name of the Game, Summer Night City, Take a Chance on Me, Dancing Queen, Waterloo. It's just an absolutely brilliant live album, and this was recorded in 1979. So ABBA Live triple. The only thing I'm not too happy about is it's not in the gatefold or a trifold sleeve. It's a single sleeve, but hell, I've got the music, that's the main thing. This one here I've always wanted. It was always too dear, and I found it at a very, very reasonable price. And this is Van Morrison's Blowing Your Mind, and this is a fantastic LP. I know a lot of people think this is just a little compilation of his bang recordings, and that Astral Weeks is his second album. I don't agree. I think this is his first album. TB Sheets is brilliant. Of course, Brown Eyed Girl. Goodbye Baby, Baby Goodbye. I absolutely adore. Spanish Rose is a great song, and Row Row Rosie. It's a really, really good soulful album, and it's actually very, very accessible. Some of Van's albums you need to listen to about 15 times before some of it sinks in, but this is great. So this is Blowing Your Mind. I think this was released originally in '67. So next up, I bought this because it was cheap. I remember seeing this in the record shop the week it came out, and it was something like £34, and I said, I'm not buying this because there's no Bowie on it. And this was $11.99. It's a double album of the soundtrack The Man Who Fell to Earth. I don't even actually file this with my Bowie material. It goes into the soundtrack box. Yeah, it's okay. It's basically John Phillips and Stamu Yamashaka. I don't know if I pronounced that right. It's a soundtrack. It's like a score, and there's some little country pieces in this as well. It's not a bad album, but what it has done, and I think I might actually do this tonight, I'm going to watch the film again and then play the soundtrack again. But I did enjoy it, but again, there's no Bowie in this. It's cool cover, mind. This one was a bit of a punt because I do love this girl, and I thought, her new albums will be rubbish, but I'm going to go for it, and there was a free CD in it as well. And this is Susie Quatro's No Control, and I really enjoyed this. I thought it was great. It's really nothing like her Devilgate Drive or Can the Can days, but there's some fantastic songs on here. Like Strings is absolutely brilliant. Love Isn't Fair is real. It's a real catchy little number. Don't Do Me Wrong, Easy Pickings. They're all really good songs. And as a bonus, funny enough, you get 2 bonus tracks on the LP that aren't on the CD. Now there's a turnaround for the books. She does like an acoustic version of Bob Dylan's Leopard Skin Pillbox Hat. I was very surprised at this. I really was. It was much better than I thought, and I was so pleased I got it. And it's on a kind of mustardy, marbly type vinyl. So Susie Quatro, No Control. Okay, 3 more, and Jimi Hendrix, Axis Bold as Love. Now the thing about this, I like the first Jimi Hendrix album, Are You Experienced? I bought the vinyl of it. You got a free LP with it. It was a double album with the stray singles, or the singles that were actually part of the American version, and I thought it was a great album, especially having that extra disc. I also then bought Electric Ladyland. I was going to say Electric Landlady there again. I always get those two confused, the Kirsty MacColl album. But yeah, I struggled with it. Maybe it's a bit too bluesy for me, but it's starting to grow on me. And this was going pretty cheap as well, and I thought, right, I'll go for this. This is the best of the lot. I really do enjoy this. I've played this about 3 or 4 times already. The only song I knew of this was Little Wing, which I think is a help that I only know the one, rather than waiting for all these songs that I do know to come up. Yeah, so I really did enjoy this, and I think it's a very cohesive album. So yeah, Axis Bold as Love, Jimi Hendrix, so pleased to get it. Next up, and I had only bought this in CD, but it's now become, I think, my favourite album, so I bought it in vinyl. And it's Paul, Heaton and Jacqui, Abbott, and this was only $11.99 for the album, the vinyl album on Amazon, so I thought I'm definitely buying that. Okay, it took about 2.5 weeks to get here, but still $11.99, and then I checked the price and it's gone up to $28.99, so I got it when it was cheap, and this is brilliant. This is probably their best album. Maybe their second one is a tie, but yeah, I love the opener, The Only Exercise I Get Is You, and I love the glam of Big News and A Little World. I even do like the MCR Calling, which is just snippets of voices, but I think it's very effective. It's a brilliant album. Initially I thought, oh god, it's all the same, but it's not. It's a really strong album, and it got to #1. And lastly, I thought I would never buy this, but again it was cheap, and so I bought Roy Orbison's A Love So Beautiful with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. And yes, it's not an essential purchase, but it is a nice listen. They do 2 versions of I Drove All Night, which is a bit silly. Why not just do the one? The song A Love So Beautiful, playing this the other night, I never realised it was written by Jeff Lynne, which I knew. But what I didn't realise was the music is exactly the same, or very close to Nessun Dorma, the classical piece that Pavarotti took up the charts after World Cup '90. It's very similar. I couldn't believe it. I never realised before, whenever I was listening to the actual album it comes from, Mystery Girl, but with the orchestra it does sound like it. Yeah, this is some of his big hits, like In Dreams, Crying, I'm Hurting, Oh Pretty Woman, Running Scared, which I absolutely adore, even You Got It, Blue Angel. Some work better than others, but still it's a decent album and very enjoyable, and it's nice to have it with the Roy Orbison collection. Okay, so that there is some of the new vinyl that I bought over the past month or so. Okay, that's me for now. I hope everybody is still staying safe, and I hope to have another video very soon. All the best now. Bye bye.